This is Devoted. I'm Pastor Evans.
I'm Mrs. Evans.
Today we're doing a study called You and Me Forever. We're doing day 7 in the YouVersion app. Join us.
The Scarlet Letters book. Author of The Scarlet Letter, one of the first mass-produced books in America, Nathaniel Hawthorne did not only owe his success to the daily encouragement of his wife, but also because he was given an opportunity to write this amazing creation. When Nathaniel lost his job, he returned home to tell his wife that he was a failure. What surprised him was when his wife replied, "Now you can write your book." Oh, I remember this. How are we able to live while I'm writing a book? His amazing wife took out a lot of cash. "Where did you get so much money?" The wife answered, "I've known for a long time that you are a genius and you will write an amazing book. Therefore, I scrimped and saved from our grocery money every week. The money is enough for our living expenses for 1 year." Hawthorne finally wrote the best book that he had ever written, The Scarlet Letter. This story gives an illustration of the importance of a constructive relationship in a family. Nathaniel would not have been able to produce this amazing book without the support and help from his wife. If a husband and a wife could support and build one another, they could turn many problems into an opportunity to produce something extraordinary.
I remember this one too.
All right.
Yeah, I remember thinking that's something that you would do.
And I was thinking, how much money
Did she say?
did she spend on groceries?
Right.
That she could
Scrimp and save.
right. How you scrimp and save on the grocery money?
Right. For a year's worth of wages.
Right. I need my Newtons. Like,
Right.
what happened?
Tripping.
Was you scrimping and saving?
Right.
Because I needed the Oreos. Not the Toreos.
Not the Springfields.
Right. Like,
Right. Yeah.
okay.
Did you want to say something about this one?
Okay. Scrimping and saving.
Yeah. She was a G.
Right. I'm like, oh.
Right.
You better scrimp and save.
You tripping.
How wonderful is it to have a husband who wasn't questioning her every move? Because I'm sure she brought some Springfield home when she was scrimping.
Right.
You know, I don't even know what scrimp mean. That's some bottom of the barrel stuff. Like, you don't know about. And then she was saving. Like, he ain't get everything if she was scrimping and saving.
Right.
So how wonderful is it to have a husband who's not questioning and just like, oh, okay, this is what we got. I guess that's what we got.
Right.
And how wonderful for a wife to be in prayer or just pay attention to her husband and see the potential that he's working towards.
Right.
Because a lot of times people see potential that people are not yet trying to work towards, and that's good too. But sometimes you see potential and people don't have a desire to meet the potential that you see. So how wonderful is it that she could see something that was confirmed, obviously, and then begin to work.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The thing that stood out to me here was one, like I said, when we read it last time, when we read it again this time, it strikes me as something that I can see you doing, because you always end up like with money for things that either are necessary or things that I want, right? So that's just kind of your personality. It's not mine, but you're a scrimper and saver.
I mean, I get it. That's
I
what
appreciate
it is.
it. I appreciate it. But the other thing that stood out to me as a husband is that when he lost his job, he came home to tell his wife that he was a failure.
Right.
And I think this husband and other husbands that I've talked to, if your goal is to provide, if your goal is to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do as a husband and what you see as your role as leading and protecting and providing, losing your job or being in a position where you don't feel like you can do that feel at some point like a failure.
Right.
Because obviously there was love between he and his wife.
Right.
I would think, because she saw something in him and was like, he gonna need this one day because he needs to do this. And he was enamored enough and loved and respected her enough to be like, I need to be able to give you what you need.
Right.
Which is why he felt, not that, he may or may not, if I lost my job today, I wouldn't feel like I was failing you because I lost my job. I would feel like we're in a position that I need to get us out of.
Right.
Right? So I don't think it was about his job as much as it was about being able to be responsible for his wife. Because the next question, after she told him she saved a year's worth of stuff, well, she didn't say it was a year yet, but after she told him she was saving up so that he could write his book, he was like, how are we going to live? Right? So she was like, I saved up.
Right.
Right? And the last thing I want to say was, he came home and told his wife it was a failure, and the first thing she said was, oh, good, now you're going to write your book.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that had to throw him off.
But it had to be conversations that they had and shared goals and things that they wanted to do in their life, which means that they communicated well to each other.
Right. Yeah.
Because she didn't feel that it was only a dream. She felt like it was a goal.
Yeah. But I know it took him. I feel like putting myself in his shoes, I think it would have, threw him off balance because he's like, dang, lost my job. I go home and tell my wife, I'm going to be disappointed. How I'm going this whole conversation he's having in his head, how I'm going to take care of my family. And he's like, babe, I lost my job. And she come back, oh, good, you can write your book now.
Right. Right. I could imagine that it could be torturesome for a man because it's like, I lost my job. My daughter can't do ballet classes.
We
can't send our kids to school. How are we going to pay the rent? Oh, man.
All those things. That's what I'm saying. It had to be like off-putting for her to be like, oh, good, you can write your book now. Because I'm sure he went through all those things in his head. Right. But that's cool. It's good stuff.
Ephesians 4:2. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. And that's the NIV. Let's see here. I'll read the King James Version. Ephesians 4:2. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love.
Okay. So it says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love.
That's the NIV.
That's the NIV. That sounds like everything you're supposed to do in marriage. Right.
Completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. You know what? I must just not be the one, okay?
Why you say that?
Be completely humble and gentle?
Right.
No. I be having problems. I got problems, y'all.
Right.
Like real ones. And I try to be, I don't think being humble is an issue of mine.
Right.
But being gentle, because sometimes I be like, no, what the for real is.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't come off gently. But I feel like it got to be said. Like somebody got to say it. You stink.
Right.
Like that.
I don't stink.
No. He don't stink, y'all. I mean, after a bath and stuff, good stuff. But I'm just saying. That's the Jesus knows it's hard. Jesus knows it's hard for me. I don't know about for you.
Right.
Patience, bearing with one another in love. I mean, okay.
Yeah. I think, and every time I read that scripture and one or two others, just that bearing with one another in love, do all that you can do to live in harmony or live in peace with one another. It just confirms and reaffirms the fact that sometimes it's going to be difficult.
Right.
And sometimes in love, you have to bear with each other so that you can get through it and you carry yourselves on and make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Did you want to say something else about that?
Yeah, you know what? I just think it's really important, again, that we're honest with ourselves and that we do reflection. a couple ways that we can do that is going back to season 1, Foundations of Love.
Right.
Finding out how we love, right? Finding out how we learned how to love.
Right.
And then season 2, finding out what love is. What does it mean to love?
Right.
Okay? And then once we're able to have self-reflection and have things to guide us, I think that we can do better with the bearing with one another in love, because now we're truly doing things that reflect love, that look like love, that feel like love.
Right.
Right? And we're just not out here willy-nilly twirling our arms.
Right. All right. Well, let's see what the Lord is saying to us.
The Lord.
What the Lord is saying to us.
Okay, so husband.
Yes.
Based on today's reading, what is one thing God is saying to you?
Let's see. When did we do this? 24 weeks ago. 24 weeks? I don't say like that long. I said...
That's 6 months, though.
Is that 6 months?
I mean, 4 weeks and
Yeah, I guess so, huh? All right, so 24 weeks ago, 6 months ago, I said I will look for ways to support my wife whenever possible. I'll do my best to make sure the help is helpful. Oh yeah, we had that conversation. Help has to be helpful. So the help has to be helpful. So that was, I think that's good. I'll do my best to support you and make sure that I'm being helpful, right? So today, I think he's saying to me, just continue to find ways to support. The wife in the devotional was preparing all this time to be able to be supported. And then the husband had to receive and accept that help and support and know that that his wife wasn't trying to do anything negative, but she was making sure that he could do what he believed either God was calling him to do or believe what he wanted to get done, do what he wanted to get done. So just to be supportive in a way that could be helpful so that you can get what you need to get done. Yeah.
you know what? Something just crossed my mind, though. He could have lost his job and then came home and was like, wife, I lost my job, I'm about to write my book.
Right.
And I saw that you was putting money in your purse. So how much we got?
Right.
That's
that would have been a whole different attitude.
Right.
She might not even want to give it to him yet.
Right. Like, what? Like, wait, what happened? What?
Right.
Like, I mean, because I often tell you, I have money, but it's not for you.
Right.
Okay? The money's not for you. I got a little piece of change.
So, wife, based on what I'm reading today, what is one thing God is saying to you?
Okay, so 24 weeks ago today, I said I will support my husband in whatever God is calling him to do and be. I will lay aside doubt and trust God. And I think that's still true today. I think it's important that we have conversations about what our goals are and that I not doubt what you're saying or the things that you say you're going to do based on whatever happened over the course of our marriage.
Right.
And that if you say God is calling you to do something, I trust that God is calling you to do it and do my best to support you in that.
Okay.
And then also petition the Lord to find out what I can do to support you, and hope and pray that you're also doing the same for me.
Yeah.
Right? And don't doubt it, and then just trust God.
All righty.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Okay, amen. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, did you want to say anything else?
No.
Well,
Well,
that's it. That's all.
that's it.